Did you know that some items in your kitchen could silently harm your health or waste valuable space? From scratched non-stick pans to expired spices, these everyday items might be doing more harm than good, especially after 60. How many of these toxic culprits are hiding in your home, and could they be affecting your well-being? Stick around, because today we're revealing 10 toxic kitchen items you need to declutter right now and sharing better alternatives to keep your kitchen healthier, safer, and more organized. Let's get started. You don't want to miss this. Meet Evelyn, a 68-year-old who has always loved cooking. Her kitchen was her happy place, a space filled with memories of family meals, holiday feasts, and her favorite recipes. But over time, she started noticing something wasn't right. Her once organized kitchen now felt cluttered and chaotic, and she found herself holding on to items she hadn't used in years. Little did she know, some of those items weren't just taking up space. They were potentially harmful to her health. Let's start with the first toxic item on the list: scratched non-stick cookware. If you're like Evelyn, you probably have a few non-stick pans sitting in your kitchen, maybe even ones you've had for years. After all, they make cooking so easy, right? But what many don't realize is that once those pans get scratched, they can start releasing harmful chemicals like PFOAs, perfluorooctanoic acid, into your food. PFOAs are chemicals that were commonly used in the production of non-stick coatings. While they've been phased out in many products, they can still be found in older cookware. When the coating gets scratched or worn down, those chemicals can seep into your food, potentially increasing your risk for serious health problems, like hormone disruption or even cancer. And while it may seem harmless when you cook with a little scratch here and there, repeated exposure can add up over time, especially when cooking high-heat meals. Evelyn was shocked when she learned that her favorite non-stick frying pan, the one she used for her morning eggs, was actually doing more harm than good. She didn't want to give up the convenience of non-stick cooking, but she also didn't want to compromise her health. That's when she decided to make the switch to a safer alternative. So, what should you do instead? It's simple. Replace those scratched non-stick pans with ceramic or cast iron cookware. Let's break down why these options are not only safer but also long-lasting and more versatile. Ceramic cookware is a great option because it's naturally non-stick without the harmful chemicals found in traditional non-stick pans. It's non-toxic and heats evenly, making it perfect for everything from sautéing to baking. Plus, it's super easy to clean, and with proper care, it can last for many years. You'll be able to enjoy your cooking with peace of mind, knowing that there are no chemicals leaching into your food. Cast iron cookware is another fantastic alternative. Though it requires a bit more care than ceramic, cast iron pans can last a lifetime and even be passed down through generations. They naturally develop a non-stick surface over time and can be used on any cooking surface, including stovetops, ovens, and even campfires. It's a durable, versatile option that adds a bit of nostalgic charm to your kitchen, not to mention the health benefits of cooking with iron, which can help boost your iron intake. Evelyn found that after she switched to ceramic cookware, her meals not only tasted better, but she felt more confident in the safety of what she was putting in her body. Plus, the transition to cast iron for some of her favourite meals brought a sense of satisfaction and tradition to her cooking. Making the switch doesn't have to break the bank either. There are many affordable options out there, and investing in high-quality cookware now means you won't have to replace it again anytime soon. So, take a look at your non-stick pans. If they're scratched or starting to peel, it's time to say goodbye. Swap them out for safer, more sustainable alternatives like ceramic or cast iron. Your health and your kitchen will thank you. What do you think about switching to these alternatives? Have you made the change yet, or are you still hanging on to that old non-stick pan? Let us know in the comments. Next up, let's talk about expired spices. Now, I know what you're thinking. Spices seem like the kind of thing that could last forever, right? After all, they don't spoil in the traditional sense. But the truth is, over time, spices lose their potency, flavor, and even their health benefits. In fact, old spices can start to develop mold or bacteria, which could actually make them harmful rather than beneficial to your health. Evelyn was guilty of holding on to spices far past their prime. She'd often reach for a jar of cumin or paprika, only to find that the flavor was dull and lacking. It wasn't until she learned that spices lose their potency over time and that old spices can even develop mold that she realized the problem wasn't just flavor, but her health. The last thing anyone wants is to add a pinch of something thinking it'll bring flavor, only to unknowingly ingest something that could cause stomach discomfort or allergic reactions. Here's the deal. Spices don't last forever. They're best used within a year or two of purchase for maximum flavor and benefits. After that, their flavor starts to degrade and their health-promoting properties fade. And while dried herbs and spices don't typically expire in the traditional sense, they lose their ability to deliver the rich flavors and potent nutrients they once had. So how can you avoid the dangers of expired spices and keep your cooking vibrant and healthy? It's simple. Check expiration dates regularly and replace your spices every 12 to 18 months. You don't need to throw out everything at once, but if a spice hasn't been used in a while or smells off, it's time to let it go. Replacing your old spices with fresh ones ensures that your meals are flavorful, aromatic, and packed with antioxidants and other nutrients. Evelyn went through her spice rack and found jars she'd been holding onto for years, some that had lost their smell entirely, and others that had small specks of mold. She replaced everything with fresh, high-quality spices and noticed a huge difference in her cooking. Her dishes were more aromatic, flavorful, and of course, healthier. Here's a tip: store your spices in a cool, dark place to extend their shelf life. Light, heat, and moisture all contribute to the degradation of spices, so avoid keeping them near the stove or in humid areas. Also, try to buy whole spices when possible, as they last longer and can be freshly ground for better flavor. When you replace your expired spices with fresh ones, not only will you enjoy better tasting food, but you'll also be reaping the health benefits of active ingredients like antioxidants and essential oils that lose their potency over time. The next time you cook, you'll notice how much more vibrant your meals are and how much more enjoyment you get out of every bite. Have you checked your spice rack lately? Do you have any expired spices hiding in the back of your pantry? Let us know in the comments. Now, let's talk about plastic food containers. If you're like Evelyn, you probably have a few plastic containers lying around your kitchen, especially the ones that came with takeout or those that have been reused time and time again. They seem so convenient, right? They stack easily, they're lightweight, and you can use them for storing leftovers or packing lunches. But what you might not know is that old plastic containers can be a hidden danger in your kitchen. Over time, plastic food containers can degrade, especially when exposed to heat from the microwave or the dishwasher. When this happens, harmful chemicals like BPA, bisphenol A, or phthalates can leach into your food. These chemicals have been linked to a range of health problems, including hormone disruption, and they can be especially harmful to seniors who may be more vulnerable to their effects. Evelyn had been using plastic containers for years without much thought. But when she read about the risks of BPA and phthalates leaching into food, especially when containers are heated in the microwave, she was horrified. She realized that the old plastic containers in her kitchen weren't just taking up space, they were potentially impacting her health. It was time for a change. So, what's the solution? Switch to glass or BPA-free plastic containers. Let's dive into why this switch is so important and how it can benefit both your health and your kitchen. Glass containers are a fantastic alternative to plastic. They're durable, non-toxic, and don't leach harmful chemicals into your food. Plus, they're microwave and dishwasher safe, making them just as convenient as plastic, but much safer. Glass containers also don't absorb stains or odors, which means your food will stay fresh and flavorful. The best part? Glass is non-reactive, meaning it won't affect the taste of your food like plastic sometimes does. If you're not ready to go all in on glass just yet, BPA-free plastic containers are also a safer option. While plastic isn't as ideal as glass, BPA-free alternatives are a much better choice compared to the older plastic containers that contain BPA. These BPA-free containers are made from safer materials that won't leach harmful chemicals into your food. Look for labels that say BPA-free to make sure you're choosing a safer option. Evelyn took the plunge and replaced all her old plastic containers with glass ones. She was amazed at how much cleaner and fresher her food looked, and she felt a sense of relief, knowing that her meals were no longer exposed to harmful chemicals. Not only did her kitchen look more organized, but it felt safer and healthier. Here's a quick tip. When buying new containers, look for ones that have airtight lids, as this will keep your food fresher for longer and reduce the chance of spills or odors. And remember, glass containers are also great for reheating food in the oven, so you won't have to worry about microwave radiation damaging the plastic. Have you checked your food storage containers lately? Are you still using plastic ones that might be leaching harmful chemicals? Let us know in the comments. Next up is an item that you might not immediately think of as toxic: old or rusty knives. Evelyn, like many of us, had been holding on to a few knives that she had inherited years ago. They were dull, rusty, and not very sharp, but she kept telling herself they still worked just fine. After all, knives are just tools, right? But what Evelyn didn't realize was that dull and rusty knives aren't just ineffective. They can actually be dangerous. It's a common misconception that dull knives are harmless. The truth is, they're more hazardous than sharp knives. When a knife loses its sharp edge, you tend to put more force behind each cut, which can lead to slips and accidents. That means you're more likely to cut yourself with a dull knife than with one that's sharp. Plus, when knives get rusty, they can become even more difficult to handle safely, and rust can transfer onto your food, making it not only unappetizing, but potentially harmful. Evelyn learned this the hard way. She'd been using her old rusty knives for years, never thinking twice about it. But one day, while chopping vegetables for a stew, the knife slipped and she cut her finger. Thankfully, it wasn't serious, but it was a wake-up call. It made her realize that what she had been holding on to wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a potential hazard to her health. So, what's the solution? It's time to invest in a quality knife set or sharpen your existing knives regularly. A good, sharp knife makes all the difference in the kitchen, not just in terms of efficiency, but also safety. Investing in a quality knife set is one of the best decisions you can make. Look for a set that includes a few basic knives, like a chef's knife, a paring knife, and a serrated knife. These knives will cover all your needs and ensure that you're prepared for any task in the kitchen. Plus, a well-made knife will last for years if properly maintained. If you're not ready to replace your knives just yet, sharpening them can give them a whole new life. A sharp knife is safer and more effective, and it's much easier to cut through food without putting strain on your hands or wrists. You can either sharpen your knives yourself using a sharpening stone or take them to a professional for a quick tune-up. Evelyn decided to invest in a new knife set, and she was amazed at how much easier and safer her cooking became. Not only was she able to chop, slice, and dice with more precision, but she also felt a sense of relief knowing that her knives weren't putting her health at risk. Another option is to regularly maintain your knives. Even if you don't buy a new set, it's important to hone your knives regularly. Honing helps maintain the sharp edge of your knife and ensures it remains effective. It's a quick and easy process, and you can do it at home with a honing rod. Simply run the blade across the rod a few times, and it will realign the edge, making your knife sharper. A quality knife doesn't just make cooking easier, it can also improve the overall safety of your kitchen. The next time you reach for a knife, think about whether it's up to the task. If it's dull, rusty, or showing signs of wear, it's time to either replace it or give it a good sharpening. You'll be amazed at how much better your cooking experience will be. Do you have any old rusty knives hiding in your kitchen? When was the last time you sharpened your knives? Let us know in the comments. Small changes like this can go a long way toward making your kitchen safer and more efficient. Let's move on to something that's often overlooked: non-food safe cleaning products. Evelyn had always used regular store-bought cleaners to scrub her kitchen counters, stovetop, and sinks. They smelled fresh, and they seemed to do the job well. But it wasn't until she learned about the harmful chemicals lurking in many common cleaning products that she realized the risks. Some of those chemicals can linger on surfaces, leaching into the food we prepare and potentially affecting our health. Toxic chemicals in kitchen cleaners, like ammonia, bleach, and synthetic fragrances, are powerful, but they can also leave behind harmful residues that might end up on the very surfaces we prepare our food on. These chemicals can be especially harmful to seniors, who may have more sensitive systems or compromised immune systems. The last thing anyone wants is to unknowingly ingest harmful chemicals, especially when cleaning products can easily be replaced with safer alternatives. Evelyn started to notice that after cleaning her countertops, they sometimes had a strange chemical scent that lingered even after wiping them down. This concerned her because she often placed food directly onto those surfaces. The thought of toxic residues being transferred to her meals made her feel uneasy, and that's when she decided it was time for a change. So, how can we avoid the dangers of non-food-safe cleaning products and keep our kitchen clean without compromising our health? It's simple. Switch to natural food-safe cleaning products or DIY alternatives like vinegar and baking soda. Vinegar and baking soda are two of the most versatile and powerful natural cleaners around. They're both non-toxic, inexpensive, and safe to use around food. Vinegar can help break down grease, remove stains, and disinfect surfaces. Baking soda is a gentle abrasive that can help scrub away grime without damaging surfaces. Plus, when combined, these two ingredients create a cleaning powerhouse that can tackle almost any mess in the kitchen. Evelyn switched to a vinegar and water solution for cleaning her countertops, sinks, and stovetop. She also started using baking soda to scrub out tough stains and freshen up her fridge. She was amazed at how well these natural alternatives worked. Not only did they leave her kitchen sparkling clean, but she felt much better knowing that her food wasn't coming into contact with harsh chemicals. Her kitchen smelled fresher too, without the overpowering scent of artificial fragrances. If you're not into DIY solutions, there are plenty of natural, food-safe cleaning products available on the market today. Look for products that are labeled as non-toxic, biodegradable, and free from synthetic chemicals. These cleaners are formulated with plant-based ingredients, essential oils, and other natural compounds that clean effectively without leaving harmful residues behind. A simple way to start is by replacing just one or two of your most used cleaners with a natural option. For example, if you typically use an all-purpose cleaner on your countertops, try switching to a plant-based cleaner or a vinegar solution. You'll be amazed at the difference in both cleanliness and peace of mind. Here's a tip. Always rinse surfaces well after cleaning, especially if you're using a natural cleaner like vinegar. While vinegar is safe and non-toxic, it's always a good idea to wipe down surfaces with water after cleaning to ensure they're fully clean and free from any residue. Have you noticed any harsh chemical smells lingering after you clean? What natural cleaning products do you use in your kitchen? Let us know in the comments. By making small but impactful changes like switching to non-toxic cleaners, you can create a much healthier and safer kitchen. Next up, old cutting boards. Evelyn had been using the same wooden cutting board for years, thinking it was fine because it still looked good on the surface. But over time, deep grooves had formed from countless knife cuts, and these grooves could easily harbour bacteria, making it harder to keep her kitchen safe. What she didn't realise was that these hidden bacteria could easily transfer to the food she was preparing, posing a significant health risk. Old cutting boards, especially wooden ones with deep grooves, can trap bacteria even after they've been washed. While wood is naturally antimicrobial to some extent, those deep cuts and grooves are prime hiding spots for germs, and they become harder to sanitize the longer you use them. So what's the solution? It's time to replace your old cutting boards with ones that are easier to clean and sanitize, like bamboo or plastic boards. These materials are non-porous, meaning they don't trap bacteria as easily, and they're much easier to wipe clean after each use. Evelyn decided to replace her old wooden board with a durable bamboo one, and she noticed an immediate difference. The bamboo board was smooth, easy to sanitize, and looked great in her kitchen. Plus, bamboo is a sustainable, eco-friendly material that's more resistant to knife marks than wood, helping her keep her cutting surfaces safer for longer. If you're still using an old, battered cutting board, consider replacing it with a material that's easier to maintain. Bamboo, plastic, or even composite boards are all great options. They're easy to clean, don't harbour bacteria, and can be used for years to come. When choosing your new cutting board, make sure to get one that's large enough to give you enough space for food prep. You'll want something that's sturdy and won't easily slip around while you're cutting. Have you noticed any deep grooves in your cutting boards? Have you ever thought about replacing them? Let us know in the comments. Now, let's talk about something many of us use on a daily basis in the kitchen: aluminum foil. Evelyn had always relied on aluminum foil for everything, from lining baking trays to wrapping up leftovers. It was convenient, affordable, and did the job. But after doing some research, she learned something shocking. Cooking with aluminum foil at high temperatures can actually cause the foil to leach metals into your food, particularly when cooking acidic foods like tomatoes or citrus. Over time, this could contribute to potential health risks, especially for seniors who are more vulnerable to heavy metal accumulation. The truth is, high heat can cause aluminum to break down and seep into your food, which may be linked to health concerns, including increased risk of neurological conditions. While occasional use may not be a major issue, using aluminum foil frequently for cooking can add up over time. So, what's the safer, healthier alternative? Parchment paper or reusable silicone baking mats? Both options are non-toxic, safe for high heat cooking, and much better for your long-term health. Parchment paper is a fantastic, eco-friendly option for lining baking sheets and wrapping food. It's heat-resistant, non-stick, and can be used for a variety of cooking needs, from roasting vegetables to baking cookies. Reusable silicone baking mats are another great alternative. These mats are perfect for non-stick baking and roasting and can be used over and over again, saving you money and reducing waste. They're durable, easy to clean, and completely free of harmful chemicals. Evelyn made the switch to parchment paper for her baking and roasting, and she also invested in a set of silicone mats. She found that these options worked just as well as aluminum foil, and even better in some cases, without the worries about metal leaching into her food. Plus, she loved that the silicone mats were reusable, making them more sustainable and budget-friendly in the long run. If you're using aluminum foil for cooking, try swapping it out for parchment paper or a silicone baking mat next time. It's a small change, but it can have a big impact on your health and the environment. Have you been using aluminum foil for cooking? Are you ready to make the switch to a safer alternative? Let us know in the comments. Let's talk about something many of us overlook: a cluttered medicine shelf in the kitchen. Evelyn had a habit of keeping all her medications in the kitchen, where she could easily grab them when needed. But over time, she realized that storing medicine in a warm, humid environment like the kitchen wasn't ideal. Heat and moisture can actually reduce the effectiveness of many medications, especially those in pill form. Not to mention, it's easy for them to get mixed up with spices and other kitchen items, making it harder to keep track. So, what's the solution? Move your medicine to a cool, dry place, away from heat and humidity. A bathroom medicine cabinet might seem like an option, but even that can be too humid for some medications. Instead, look for a shelf or cabinet that stays cool and dry, like a hall closet or bedroom drawer. And while you're at it, it's a good idea to organize your medications by expiration date. This will help you keep track of what's still effective and what needs to be replaced. Evelyn created a simple system by labeling each bottle with the expiration date and placing the oldest ones at the front. This way, she was never caught off guard by expired meds. Have you been storing your medicines in the kitchen? How do you keep your medications organized? Let us know in the comments. Now let's talk about worn-out dish towels and sponges. Something that may seem harmless, but they can actually be breeding grounds for germs if not properly cared for. Evelyn didn't realize how much bacteria could accumulate on her old dish towels and sponges until she learned that these everyday items can trap moisture, food particles, and germs. Over time, those towels and sponges can actually become a health hazard, especially in a kitchen where hygiene is key. Evelyn would grab her dish towel to wipe down the counters or dry her hands, thinking it was still good as new. But when she started paying attention to the texture and smell, she noticed that it didn't feel as fresh as it once did. And that's when she discovered that worn-out towels and sponges can harbour dangerous bacteria, which can transfer to dishes, utensils, and food surfaces. Sponges, in particular, can be tricky, because they tend to hold onto bacteria even after being rinsed off. So how can you avoid this problem? Replace your dish towels and sponges regularly, and don't wait until they're falling apart. It's a good idea to have a few backups on hand so you can switch them out as needed. In addition to regular replacements, it's also a smart idea to sanitize your sponges every now and then. You can pop them in the microwave for 30 seconds to kill bacteria or toss them in the dishwasher for a thorough cleaning. Evelyn made it a habit to replace her dish towels every couple of months and sanitize her sponges once a week. She noticed a huge difference in cleanliness and peace of mind, knowing her kitchen was free from hidden germs. Are you guilty of holding on to those old dish towels or sponges? Let us know in the comments how often you replace or sanitize them. Finally, let's talk about old or damaged silicone bakeware. Evelyn loved baking for her grandkids, but she hadn't realized her trusty silicone muffin trays and spatulas were starting to show signs of wear. Over time, she noticed cracks, discoloration, and even a strange smell when using them in the oven. While silicone bakeware is a popular non-stick and reusable option, old or damaged silicone can break down under high heat, releasing chemicals into your food. Cracks or tears can also trap food particles and bacteria, making it less hygienic. Evelyn decided to inspect her silicone bakeware and replace anything that looked worn, brittle, or discolored. She invested in high-quality food-grade silicone that could handle higher temperatures safely and opted for alternatives like glass or stainless steel bakeware for certain tasks. Now, Evelyn's baking experience is safer, and she feels good knowing she's protecting her family from hidden risks. Plus, her muffins have never turned out better. When was the last time you checked your silicone bakeware? It might be time to upgrade to ensure your kitchen is as safe and efficient as possible. Share your thoughts or your favorite baking essentials in the comments below. After tackling these toxic kitchen items one by one, Evelyn's kitchen underwent a remarkable transformation. The cluttered cabinets and hidden health risks were replaced with safer, organized, and more practical tools. Her countertops felt more spacious. Her pantry became a source of inspiration rather than stress, and her cooking essentials were now safe and reliable. Evelyn noticed an immediate change, not just in the way her kitchen looked, but in how it felt. It became a space she genuinely enjoyed spending time in, and the joy of cooking returned. With fewer distractions and healthier tools, preparing meals for herself and her family became easier and more fulfilling. Your kitchen can transform too. By identifying and removing these hidden hazards, you can create a safer, more efficient, and inviting space to support your well-being. Have you started decluttering your kitchen yet? Which of these items do you plan to replace first? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your story. If you found these tips helpful, don't keep them to yourself. Share this video with someone who could use a healthier, clutter-free kitchen. And if you want more practical advice to make life after 60 even better, make sure to hit that subscribe button.